Hello, gun friends. So glad to see you. I'm Naomi from Fluffy Boots Crochet Creations. It's my own name, and I stumbled on that. Did you see that? Woo! It's just one of those days, you know what I mean? So, today is National Crochet Month Challenge, and because I am behind, because I've been sick and had a couple of other things going on in my personal life, I'm just getting to doing them now, so I'm combining days together to make things easier. Now, if you saw the other video for the 12th and 13th, I believe I said I had 5 days. I don't. I just had 4 days. So, I don't know. I don't know what you want from me, huh? Okay. Now that I'm done being silly dilly dilly. Sorry. just I have you on a box and I just hit the box and I went, woo! Sorry. All right, so today I'm going to cover day 14 and 15, which is crocheters I love and blanket. So blanket, wow, that's easy. It's not like I do blankets or anything ever. I've never done a blanket in my life, right? Wink, wink. So here is the thing with picking out crocheters I love, especially just three. That makes it really hard because obviously I want to say my mom and my grandma's, both of them. And that would like cover that, and then we'd be like, okay, thanks, bye, see you later. But because I have something coming up for Mother's Day, celebration remembrance, which I do hope you join me for. And if you're interested in doing that, I will put the information down below about what exactly we are doing so that you can join in and hopefully get to say something to your special someone who may be with us or who is not with us. But that's I'll put the information to that video in the link below in the description below, sorry. So the next thing would be crocheters I love on YouTube. And like the biggest problem with saying the crocheters I love on YouTube is hoping you don't hurt anyone's feelings and trying not to talk about the absolute obvious ones. Not that I don't love them, because I do, but I want to talk about people. I mean, okay, so I love Crystal at Bagode. I have been a follower of hers since she was my second person I found after I found Hook by Robin for crocheting that I stuck to all the time. Um, Actually, I even remember the very first video I saw of hers. It was back when she had her um, Freddie room. I just totally forgot his last name. Mercury. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe I forgot Freddie Mercury's last name. What the heck? Sorry. I don't even know why I forgot that. That is such an obvious name to remember. But the very first video I saw of hers was in that room, and she had just received a vest from Gary, the urban crocheter, I think is his name. I'll put the correct name here when I look it up again. I'm so sorry. But I watched that video and I was just like, huh, this is kind of fun. This is kind of interesting. And I watched the full video and I knew nothing about her. I knew nothing about Gary. I liked what I saw. I thought she was funny. Um, because she was getting excited and a little bit embarrassed about it, but she was showing it, and at that time, I didn't realize Gary was another YouTuber. I just thought, it was maybe just someone she knew that she went by Urban Crocheter. I don't know. It was back in the early days of crocheting, and I hadn't really explored the community yet. If if that's the way I want to put it, which I think is, I really hadn't looked at all the crocheters out there, and I don't know if you've ever actually gone through all the creators on YouTube. So there is honestly a whole part of the crochet world that I don't think a lot of people truly understand that's out there. If you're in America, Canada, United Kingdom, any of the English speaking countries, Australia, I am not going to name every English speaking country right now. But if you're in those communities, it's generally going to bring up all the English speaking people in your country, those closest to you, and then it might branch out. And most of us, when we're looking at YouTube, we are not going to sit there going through page after page after page of recommendations. But I have, because sometimes I'm not finding what I want when I first put in information. And the other day, I was looking for Lacy Crochet Shaw, I think it was. I just wanted to kind of see what other patterns were out there. And they gave me the standards that, I know. Um, Crystal, obviously. Um, I don't think they had Juan on there, but they had Crystal, they had um, Fire Spider had one, and I don't know some of the other ones, but there was other ones out there. Then it started getting into some of the non-English speaking, and I found this one lady, I don't even know, she didn't speak at all. She just showed what she was doing, and she gave information as she did it. And I just honestly sat there going, "Oh my God, that is gorgeous. I want to make that. I have to figure out how to expand it and make it for me for something and for me to wear and what have you, because it was gorgeous. I'd never seen it done before. Um and then because I was watching her, it started recommending all these people that spoke like Arabic. I do not know how to speak Arabic. I don't understand it. Um but there were some of the most gorgeous creators of shawls I had seen. Same with some of the Indian ones. And of course, then you get into your Asian countries and all these others, and there's an Egyptian one, and I'm just sitting there going, wow, there's like this whole part of our crochet community that I didn't even realize existed. I mean, I shouldn't say I didn't realize it existed. I knew they existed. I just never really gone through what they created. And even though I couldn't understand the languages, just watching, even if I didn't watch the whole video, just watching part of it, I was floored because some of those, wow. I mean, I love intricate crochet. I really do. I think it's gorgeous. If you've seen my vlog part 4, part 1, I think it is. Might be part 3 or 3 part 1. Anyway, I showed the center for the Afghan I'm making for the animal auction that Crystal Bagode is doing. And I love it because it's so intricate. It's so, you have to pay attention, but you're getting such beautiful texture. And I love that sort of thing. So you take one that, well, you know what? I got it right here. Why don't I just show you what I mean? Okay, so here's the center of that Afghan, okay? And I don't even have to do much to it. You can see there is a ton of intricate designs, right? So there's other creators, English speaking, or at least they have English as a second language, who make beautiful designs too that are intricate. But some of those still don't even touch some of these ones from these other countries where they are just all about texture and colors, and oh my gosh, their designs are so gorgeous that I'm just sitting there going, wow, are you kidding me? So, although I can't speak, their language or anything, if you're curious, I say just put in a description of something that you're looking for, and then just keep going down the list as it gives it to you until you start getting to people that you don't recognize, but they have patterns that are outstanding. And even if you can't understand them, just watching what they're doing, just watching these final designs, going from the beginning to the end and seeing these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous creations come to life is seriously outstanding. So, even though that's a huge genre of people, I'm picking that as my number one because there is so many people out there who are so talented that it's not that you sit there and go, "Oh, I'll never be able to do that. I'm not good enough." No, you're more just awe-inspired by what they are able to create. And you're looking at your stuff going, "Wow." I mean, we have some beautiful, intricate designs too. And then you look at theirs and it's just like, you're floored. You really are. And I'm really excited too. I know this is totally switching. I'm sorry. But did you know that Crystal at Bago Day, I'm very excited about this. I'm not going to lie. Crystal at Bago Day is doing an intricate shawl crochet along. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm like so there for it. I love her stuff. She has beautiful stuff. Don't get me wrong, she does. But it is more basic and I want to be challenged. And not everything she does has that challenge right now. Not to say it's bad because she does wonderful tutorials. I mean, seriously, gorgeous tutorials. But the fact that she is now going to do this intricate shawl crochet along is exciting because she did one for the auction that's like, wow, I want to bid on that. I wonder how much it's going to go for. I don't even care. I just want to try to get it because it's gorgeous. You just want to run your fingers down it. It's just so pretty. And she's going to teach an intricate shawl. And she admitted that's one of the styles that she really loves to do is these shawls that have different stitches upon different stitches, like that. And it's just like, wow, okay, I'm there for it. Oh, and Crochet with Tiffany, she just did a community tab, I believe it was, on this designer from France who did this crochet bag that she took these beautiful designs and they're stacked. It's not all one layer, it's stacked upon stacked. And I'm just watching it going, wow, that's insane. That's beautiful. Um, I'm gonna keep this because I want to use this to inspire me because it just it's like showing you how to take what you're already doing and then increase in it. So like Crystal with her beautiful, she designs gorgeous, gorgeous Afghans. I mean, I don't think she has one Afghan that I haven't sat there and go, I want to make that. Could I stop and make that right now? Which I can't, I can't make everything I see because if I made every one of her blankets, there would not be enough room for me. in my room. But no, she does. And she designs have you seen her hats? Oh my gosh, you have to go see Crystal's hats, seriously, because she designed gorgeous hats and she designs outstanding shawls. And her shawls, I I'm always floored by, and I'm going to make, but I have this issue when I watch tutorials, especially if it's something that's caught my eye. I want to stop everything I'm doing and go make it right then and there. And I can't always do that because, like, sometimes I'm on a time crunch, which I'm kind of on right now, but that's okay because she has some really, really gorgeous shawls. She has, I think, pretty much almost every top or sweater she's designed is on my make list for myself. Um, she's actually she is actually the first one who gave me the confidence to create a wearable. Last year, she did a crochet challenge for a wearable, and it was intimidating. I'm not gonna lie, because I'd never before made it a wearable. I had always wanted to, but I hadn't, and I didn't feel like I was confident enough to make a shawl, which I know is kind of funny because a shawl probably would have been faster to make, but I decided no, I want to make me a top. And I picked out this one design and I designed it. And then as I was working on it, I was like, this is going to take way too long. I'm not going to have the time to do this. I was really sad. So I went back to the drawing board, came up with a new design. I'm going to put the picture right there. That's what I came up with. It is in yarn that is my favorite. It is from Crow and Crescent, of course. The yarn is called Vengeance. It's 100% superwash merino. And the stitch, I want to say, from Crystals was mining for diamonds, I believe. I'll have to double check on that. But I believe that's the stitch I used. I loved it. Um, that challenge kind of was that first stepping stone for me to go, you know what? I think I could do more. I think that I'm starting to see a new place that I'm growing confidence in. And that's a lot for me because I was at a place in my life, not my crocheting so much, but I had reached a point in my life where I was really low. Um, I didn't have a lot of confidence at the time. I had gone through a bad breakup, which we won't really talk about, but it really shook me. Um, it shook my confidence as not just as a woman, but as a person in general. And I didn't realize how much it was affecting me in everyday things. I was making things for people and I loved making things, but I didn't have that confidence to be like, yeah, I made that. I made that. I designed that. I followed that pattern to the T or anything like that. It was just more of like, oh, yeah, I hope you like it. And oh, I'm so glad you love it. I was worried. And, I had no confidence to where I am now, where almost a year later from that challenge, I am sitting in front of a camera, no makeup on, because honestly, I have to replace my makeup again. I'll do that eventually. But, here I am on YouTube, on the camera, talking to you. And And that's because of Crystal. Crystal was that first person when she did that challenge, made me start seeing I can do this. I can create things for me to wear. I can create things that other people are going to love. I can create things that I can, with confidence, say, I made this or I designed this and be okay with that. And that was huge. Honestly, that was huge for me. And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put Crystal. I wasn't, I was going to try not to, but gosh dang it, I have to. I really do because she gave me that confidence to start saying, you know what, Naomi, you're good at this. You are good at crocheting. You're not the best. You're still new, but you're good. You can actually make things and you can say, I made this with some pride. And that was huge for me. So, Crystal, if you happen to watch this, thank you. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for giving me that confidence to stand up and say, this is something that I can say that you helped influence. So, Crystal, I said two, but I'm going to put her with one with the other set of designers because she was such a huge influence. And that being said, the next person who truly influences me and inspires me and gives me all sorts of confidence, I have to say, is Juan from Juan the Yarn Addict. That man, um, I mean, really, what more could you ask for in someone who you consider a mentor than Juan? Um, he offered. I had okay, so I was on a live with him in Facebook one day, and he was talking about how, um, gosh, I can't even remember what we were talking about at that time, but it was he had said something, and I was just like, you know what, I need to let him know that I need to let him know that I really truly appreciate what he has done for me, as Crystal has too. And I could probably take a couple hours worth just naming off different crocheters from YouTube who have inspired me and given me great confidence, but I am going to try to narrow it down. But it's not going to be three. Sorry. Um no, Juan did this thing that kind of made me go, you know what? I can do this. Because before I got all that confidence from Crystal, I still was nowhere ready to get onto YouTube and do videos because I'm like, I don't want to sit in front of the camera. I'm a fluffy person. I'm not going to call it the other thing because if that's what you want to call it, that's fine. But for me, I'm just going to call me fluffy. You don't like it? That's okay. And he gave me that confidence to be able to say, you know what? Yeah, I can do this. I have a friend Gina from Knitting Turnpike. Now, she was the first person who kind of put that bug in my ear of, you know what? You would probably be really great at YouTube and having your own channel and writing a pattern because I had designed a hat that she really liked. And I was just like, yeah, but it's a simple hat. It was my very first design of a hat. I don't know if it's one I'd want to write. I had someone else say, you should write it too. And in this live with Juan, and he was talking about I know what he was talking about, and I'm not going to mention it again here, but it was a live that he was sharing on Facebook some things that he had felt to the Facebook group, which is his Facebook group that goes on the lives with him is generally under 100 people. And what's nice about that number is you're more likely to be seen. You're more likely to um, catch his attention to where he says something to you. And it was the live after that. I had just went ahead and started the channel because I'd gotten that from that first video, watching him. This is before he had the membership. Um, he was talking about, like I said, I'm not going to go into what he said there, because I can't remember it 100%, and I don't like to mention something if I can't quote it 100%, because then you can say something wrong, and I don't want to say it wrong, because it wasn't anything bad by any means. It was just I can't 100% quote it. But in that video, afterwards, I sent him an email and I thanked him. I thanked him for being someone that I could watch, that gave me confidence in looking at doing a channel for myself, which at that time I hadn't done quite yet. I think I'd done like 3 or 4 little videos just to see if how I liked it, if I had any confidence that I felt I could do it. But I had been watching him for some time. I had the very first video I saw of Juan's was his thank you video to Crystal. And that got me. I know that sounds kind of weird because it sounds like I'm like playing off of what he said, but that video got me because he was so genuine in his feelings about what he was saying and the fact that she had called him out. And I was just like, wow, I really like this guy. And this is back before he even had any intention whatsoever of starting a YouTube channel. But it was just enough to start seeing this person who was humble, who felt like he had something he wanted to share. And the more I watched him, the more I tried to interact with him. Um, which this is nothing wrong with him. It's just his channel blew up. you know, and when you get over, you know, a certain number of subscribers, to comment on every single person who comments on every single thing you do on every video, and you have 800 plus people, there is no way you are going to ever be able to talk to every single person. And I understand that because that would be ridiculous. I would never expect anyone that I follow to spend 4 or 5 hours answering comments just on one video. It's unrealistic. But he showed me what it would be like to go from feeling like you have a lot to offer and just saying, you know what, let's go for it. I'm just going to put it out there. If somebody watches, awesome, great. I'm so excited. If not, that's okay. I will be okay. And I liked that. I really did. He emoted such confidence to me, even from the very beginning. And then as he's going, I find out he's a left-handed crocheter and he's doing left-handed crochet videos, tutorials. I'm like, oh, heck yeah. You know how hard it is to find people who left-hand crochet, who do videos, who understand what our frustration is as a left-handed crocheter when the whole world seems to think that only right-handed people are going to crochet. Like, really? Come on. But, I mean, not that I'm blaming those that do just right-handed. Not at all. But sometimes it's very frustrating, especially if it's a difficult stitch pattern that you're trying to understand and learn. So that part does get frustrating. But Juan, he just exudes this confidence, this humility, 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 and this humor. And if you've ever watched him and ever watched or listened to his laugh is so contagious. There are times that if he starts giggling at something, I start giggling. And then I can't stop it, and I will have to pause his video because I'm giggling so much I can't hear what he's saying. So and I don't have a good giggle by any means. I have my mommy's giggle at her laugh, and it's very much it's a deep chested from the center of your diaphragm laugh. And once I get laughing, I mean my true laughing, tears, turning red in the face and all the fun stuff, the stuff that makes us look very attractive as a woman. Anywho's nanny. Enough about that. So Juan, I'm gonna put Juan and Crystal and those other guys all in the same category. The the first category of the people that are non-English speaking that do the beautiful crochets, and they really do. Theirs is because they inspire me to want to continue to explore crocheting, to explore the different things that I can do to continue bettering myself in the crochet world. Juan and Crystal, who were truly inspirational in stepping out in front of the camera and just being like, I'm going for it. Honestly, I can't thank either one enough, because if not for them, I never would have considered becoming a YouTube channel creator ever. But they gave me that confidence too. So, huge thank you to them, and a huge thank you for everything you continue to teach me to this day. Crystal does these little things with the hooks. Fascinating listening to the history of crochet hooks, something I hadn't even considered. And I'm just sitting there enthralled, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, yes, I love this, because I'm a huge history buff. I am. I'm huge history buff. Okay, I guess we better go on to number 2. One moment, I'm going to get a drink. Oh, my apologies. I'm very chatty today. I've had a lot of caffeine. Because I had 3 hours of sleep, and I have to be awake all day because we have an inspection. So I had to make sure there is no way whatsoever I get sleepy. So my apologies. So for number 2, it really is a draw, but I'm going ahead and put Hooked by Robin as number 2. The biggest reason being she is the actual first person. Well, there's a couple smaller channels I found first off that I probably have saved in a playlist somewhere that I don't recall. They taught me, how to do the very basic stitches. But Hooked by Robin, she blew them away, because she showed me how to easily make a slip stitch for my first cast on. She taught me how to make a magic ring, and then the very first blanket I ever made, which segue into the next part too. I'm going to put it here. The very first blanket I made following her pattern was the round ripple ridged blanket, and I made that for my daughter. That was her pattern, which I followed to a T. And for that to be my very first one, and it was a little more difficult. And the very first time I made it, it took me almost 2 months because I was new at crocheting and I was trying to get it done. She didn't get it on her birthday, unfortunately. But I fell in love with the way she made blankets. And so she was the first person that I returned to on a regular basis. I was already subscribed to her before I I didn't meet her. Before I found Crystal, I was already a Hook by Robin subscriber. I was watching her videos every single day. I was just gathering inspiration. I was crocheting while I was watching her videos. Um, I loved it. I loved her accent. I loved her little bit of humor that she would slip in sometimes, and she'd, you know, laugh at herself for something she did. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, totally relating right now. But, yeah, she seriously huge influence on me as a creator for crochet. I can with confidence say, um, oh, I'm definitely gonna have to cut this short. I can definitely say with true confidence that if it was not for Robin, I don't know if my blanket skills or any other of the skills that I have continued to um, gather would be near as big as it would be with. Hold on one moment. Sorry about the pause. Funny story. My phone's battery, or not battery, but storage was almost completely full. I had 98% stored on my phone. So I had to stop and delete it. And then in the meantime, I ended up having to change my shirt because it had something on. I don't know what. So I had to go put a new one on. But this is the same day. So to finish up what we were talking about, I am going to put Hook by Robin at number 2 because she is my biggest inspiration on blankets, because I've made several of her blankets in the past. I'll put another picture of one. I would show you it in person, but it's not got all these little tails in. I've made her round ripple ridged blanket. I think I said that wrong. I'll put the correct title below. Twice now. Once for the one I did for my daughter, and then one for one of my adopted grandkids. I made him a spider blanket, which I'll put right there too. I'm just gonna woo. um I'm sorry, see, I had tons of energy earlier, but I'm running out because I've been awake for hours and I've been video recording most of that. Sorry, didn't mean to take that on camera. Excuse me for my rudeness. The next thing about crocheted, or not crocheted, Hook by Robin, is besides teaching me how to make the magic ring, which I caught on to right away, the slip knot, she also taught blanket styles that I hadn't seen before, that I was just like, ooh, that is gorgeous. I want to make that. And one of the ones that she made, I've probably watched the video 4 or 5 times, is the lotus flower, which I'll put what I was starting on there. That blanket was going to be for the animal auction, but somehow I made a mistake on it. So unfortunately, I had to put that aside till I had time to find out where exactly I made the mistake on. But yeah, she's definitely going to be number 2 for my crocheters I love. And Now, I want you to understand in this list, I am not trying to single anyone out as not being an influence on my creations for crocheting. There's just so many awesome video channels or crochet channels out there on YouTube. Not to mention people I know in real life who are crocheters who are an influence. So I'm not trying to single people out. I'm just trying to do, I decided to do the YouTube because it did kind of scrunch down the list a little bit. And like I said earlier, I'm doing something for Mother's Day for my mom and my grandma's, and the invitation to you to participate as well. So thirdly, I am going to say Elise Rose Crochet, who used to be known as La Petite Crochet, I believe it was. It's been a while since she had that name. She was definitely the reason I grew confident enough to start doing amigurumi. My daughter, funnily enough, her very first crochet projects was amigurumi. I'm like, what the heck? How is that happening? But yeah, nonetheless, that's what she started on, which started me going, no, maybe besides blankets, I'll give that a try. I started hats first before I started trying amigurumi, but once I did, I found Elise and I absolutely loved her style. I am a huge fan of hers. She has created a ton of patterns that I think I now have every one of her patterns that she has created. She has beautiful, gorgeous amigurumi ideas. She has so much information on her channel for amigurumi creators, whether you're selling or just making it to give away as gifts. Awesome information. She has really great starter videos to do. She has one called Bubbles the Cat Star, which I made. I believe I have a picture, but I'll sneak it in right there. That's my very first amigurumi I ever made. I love it. It's adorable. But she also was very informative on not just her crochet patterns, but other creators' patterns, other creators' books. Um, gosh, showing styles that I had never seen before. She has some patterns from creators from Russia that Etsy and Ravelry and Lovecrafts and all the other pattern places that I've seen aren't carrying right now, which is a shame because they have some really beautiful. I don't know if you've seen some of the Russian creators who crochet amigurumi. They're just mouth dropping. They're just like, wow, are you kidding me? Look at the detail there. But yeah, Elise is most assuredly one of my top creators I love because she has so much wonderful information that she takes time to share with us. And the other part is she is, or she has not been crocheting for a huge amount of time. It's like 5 years. And only part of that, I think first, I want to say the first year she wasn't doing amigurumi, and then she started doing it. She's shown her first amigurumis up to the latest, and then of course her amigurumis that she has made patterns for, that she does have tutorials on her channel for, but she has a written pattern too, and her written patterns, awesome, seriously. Like I said, I have I believe I have every one of her amigurumi patterns now. And every time she says she has a new amigurumi pattern, I'm just like, okay, when are you releasing it? When are you releasing it? That's how much I love her stuff. She was seriously, if you've never checked out her channel, please do. Um, Wonderful, wonderful designer, wonderful content creator. Seriously, well worth the time to go and check her out. And another person, before I forget, who has played a definite part in my journey as a crochet creator is Tony Lipsy from T.O. Yarns Crafts. If you've never seen Tony, why? You need to go check her out. She's awesome. She designs, she creates, she has yarn reviews. She's a huge part of my YouTube crochet community influence. She inspires me. She's so kind. I had an issue with one of her patterns that was nothing on her part. It was my part. I was misunderstanding something, and I reached out to her because I was like, I must be dumb. I cannot get this. And then she explained it to me. It was like, oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay, thank you. But the fact that someone as big as she is would take the time to talk to me, a little nobody, was like, wow, that's so awesome. I really appreciate you. And Juan was the same way recently because I had sent him that email I'd said about, thanking him. And then on a Facebook Live, I said something about it, and he's just like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go check out your channel and I'll give you any input you want. And I was just like, not only did he say my name, which floored me, but the fact that he said he would, in front of all these people, say he would go check out my channel and give me his input, and he has, and he's given me some very good input, is, how many people who get as big as he is would say that to someone like me? Just like Tony. You meet Tony at one of her, the festivals that she goes to, you're more than likely going to end up being able to say hello to her. You're going to be able to maybe get a selfie with her, because you know how us fangirls are. It's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, any of the people that I like really look up to, if I ever met them in real life, I would just be really seriously stumbling over my words and probably smiling so big that I won't be able to see you know, the whole fangirl thing. Speaking of fangirl, years ago, this is years and years and years ago, I was working as an airport security um, the year after I graduated high school, I believe it was. And one of our news reporters from one of our local channels came through, and I was a huge fan of hers. And I was trying to be like, all cool and be like, oh yeah, she's cool. Let her go through. Yeah. I ended up saying her name wrong. I said I had the right person, but I said the wrong name in front of her. I was so embarrassed. I was just like, oh, please tell me it's break time. I need to go bury my head for a while. But she was really nice about it. She just kind of smiled and, whispered her name correctly for me. I was like, oh, that's right. Sorry. I'm so sorry. One of those little things that probably they went on to go, oh, whatever. Can't even get my name right. But it meant a lot to me that, she didn't try to embarrass me or anything like that. She was just very nice about it. So it was cool. But yeah, having people like Juan um, call me out in a video that other people are watching and saying he's going to check out my channel. And if he likes it, he's going to, he'll mention on his channel. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't expecting that, but okay, thank you. Because really, I really want your input. I really want to know what you think of my content because I'm still new at this. I'm still trying to learn the ins and outs of what I want to do and how I want my channel to be. And so it means a lot to me that he does that. And Elise, she has been just as kind as I haven't really talked to her about, checking out my channel because she's, obviously a very busy woman. Um, but she has been kind enough to respond to things I have said on her channel for remarks. And we've ever actually had a conversation once or twice, where and when I say conversation, I'm not saying, a long drawn out. I'm saying I say something, she says something to me, I say something back to her, and she says something back to me. That, just enough to make you go, wow, I'm being treated like a real person here. And that's pretty awesome. So, yeah, those are my top crocheters that I love. The blankets, I've already given you a few samples of my blankets. It is where I started. I am not going to do another video on blankets here because I did one just recently for, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, for things we're making Thursday for my roundup of the month of February. I showed excuse me, all the blankets I've made since I started making blankets. So I'm not going to repeat myself here on this. But I want to thank you for watching me. I hope you watched all the way to the end. I'm Naomi from Fluffy Boots Crochet Creations. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell so you always know when a new video drops. And if you are a subscriber or you're new here, give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment because I will respond. It may take me a day or two sometimes because I do, I have other things I'm doing, but I try to respond to people. And I really appreciate you stopping by to watch this video today. All right, guys, I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.